Here we have a new 2024 Nissan Frontier PRO-4X. Now this Frontier crew cab comes in gun metallic, and then we have the charcoal leather interior. The powertrain consists of a 3.8 liter naturally aspirated V6 engine. That's made it to a 9-speed automatic transmission, and that gets us 310 horsepower, 281 pound-feet of torque. But I love the styling of the Frontier ever since they redid it here recently. Coming around to the front end here, this one's pretty loaded out, so we get the LED headlamps along with the LED daytime running lights and LED fog lights. That's a stunning look there. We have the orange recovery hooks down below. And one of my favorite things is having these lights right here. Those just make it pop. Those 3 yellow dots on either side, it's crazy. Down here we have the 17-inch wheels. I like having the off-road oriented tires. And then these step bars, which I'll show you all these options and what their actual names are here shortly, but I like having those too. Passive keyless entry on the front. We have rear window lock here, power door lock controls, power mirror controls, pick aside and adjust. And then we have one-touch automatic up and down for the driver's side window, and then just regular power windows for the other 3 doors, excuse me. Love the orange accent there, bottle holder, big map pocket, Fender sound system. You can activate the tow mode there. Blind spot monitors, downhill brake control. We have a rear differential lock, etc. Parking brakes, a foot pedal. Hood release is there, and then we can tilt the steering wheel, and the release for that is there. Here's our power driver's seat. Love the leather, and I love the stitching. That orange I just really like that. Now I have that seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs. So let's go ahead and see how this leg room is. So not the worst leg room, but out of the Tacoma and then the Canyons, Colorados, this is probably the best, I think. I have to go through some other videos, but I have that seat up front adjusted, and not bad, because most of the other trucks my legs are like out there. But headroom is pretty good back here. It does curve back up, so that allows for that. If I was up here, my head would be running across the headliner there, so that was smart to do. You have a USB-C, USB-A charge port, and then a 120-volt 3-prong household plug-in. There's a view of the front from back here. Then our center seat folds down, bottle holders there. And we do have a sliding rear window, but it is manual, so some people might complain about that for the price point, but still under 50 grand. And I've seen worse, trust me. Grab handle there. We do have a hanger hook that can hang several plastic hangers or metal hangers, whether that's a shirt or a uniform or combination. And then pull this up here. And then you have space underneath the seats there when it's applicable. And the anchors are back in here too. Gas cap here. And then another one of my favorite things about the PRO-4X has just always been the tail lamps here on the Frontier. But having that orange and black badging throughout just makes it look sick. And we have the easy lower tailgate, spray on bed liner, 120-volt 3-prong household plug-in, and the bed to go with that one in the second row. Spares underneath there. Now before we check out the front passenger space, big shout out to John Roberts Nissan for allowing me to review this Frontier today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But you all can pause anywhere you need to. There are plenty of options here. Pro Convenience package, off-road protection package. I highly recommend the Pro Premium package, but it just has all the stuff that I want. So the alloy wheels there, the 10-speaker Fender sound system, and then the leather. And this technology package is a big plus as well, for only $990, getting you that intelligent cruise control, lane departure, blind spot monitors, etc. But now that we've been over that, here's the front passenger seat. Not surprised, but just a tad disappointed that it's manual, because everything else is just super, super nice, but still looks good. And if you're mostly driving it for commuting anyway, it doesn't really matter. Lockable glove compartment there. And back around to the front here, we're gonna pop the hood. And there we have the 3.8 liter V6. Let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So nice padding on this leather wrap steering wheel here. Feels nice and full. There's the horn there. Now to the radio, we do get this 9-inch screen that has AM, FM, XM along with Bluetooth audio. And we also have wireless Apple CarPlay, wired Android Auto compatibility. Navigation is here. You can use online search or whatever to find a destination. You can save your home, all of that. Like how this radio is set up. It kind of reminds me of the more basic ones that you'll find in Nissans, but it's still just the picture is much better, and I feel like you get more offered here. It's a bit quicker, but having the XM traffic, XM weather is a nice touch here. Just a big plus again. And then for all of your home page, you can kind of go through there and decide what you want to use. And another thing I like having, I wish I had on my car, is having the XM stocks available to you. So you can add a stock. So you want to find Amazon or something. I don't know how. I don't even know if that's Amazon or not. But anyways, you got to know the ticker, but you find the stock, and then it'll go ahead and give you the price, so on and so forth. Backup cameras there, you get that 360 view as well. Guidelines follow as you turn the steering wheel. Picture's not the best, but doesn't really matter. Hazards are down here. Now we do have auto stop here, so you can toggle that on or off right there. Then volume can be adjusted. Click there to turn the audio off, turn it back down. You can use this as a scroll bar, or when you're in the radio, it works as a tune knob. Dual zone automatic climate controls are down here. Fan speed can be adjusted, cut the whole system on or off. Auto mode, and then to turn that off, adjust the fan speed, and then you can decide where the airflow is coming from here. And then that dual zone, you can turn on or off there, or just adjust the temperature speed, or the temperature for the front passenger side to turn that on. 12 volt. And then we have 2-stage heated front seats, heated steering wheel toggle, parking sensors, and then a USB-C, USB-A input. And you can run the CarPlay, Android Auto wired on there. Bottle holders. And then for the shifter, pull the lever, reverse neutral drive, and then you can come over here, manually shift from the shifter. Wireless charging pad, 4-wheel drive controls. You can just go through all that and then push, go in a low. You want to make sure you're in neutral before you do that. And then center console cubby space is here. Roof shade. And we can go ahead and slide that back all the way there. Sunglasses holder. If I can get that brightness, yeah. View of the back seat again. We have that manual rear window, sliding rear window, excuse me. Garage door transmitter in the rear view mirror. And there we have the vanity mirror. I like that we get a light there at least. Now back to the steering wheel. Blinkers behind. Then we have the low beams, corners, auto off. Fog lamp toggle there. Windshield wiper controls are here. One time off, intermittent low, high. We can adjust the intermittent here, and then you can pull up here for the front wiper fluid. Hit the source button, you can go through your audio sources, whether that's Bluetooth, FM, XM, and then you can adjust the volume up or down here. And if you have any presets saved, you can go through that there. Now for the gauge cluster, you can go through the sub menus by using these arrows here, and they'll all show you different info depending on where you are. And then when you're in the settings menu, you can turn this into a scroll bar for all of that. And then if you want to change your units, you can do that. Go in here, mileage, kilometers, whatever. And then once you're out of the settings again, that turns into your presets you can toggle once more. But voice recognition, Bluetooth, and then with the intelligent cruise, you can turn that on or off there, adjust the gap there, and then set your speed, cancel. Here's the push button start. Finally, here's the key fob with remote start. But now let's go ahead and take this 2024 Frontier Pro-4X out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Frontier Pro-4X, having that 310 horsepower on tap is pretty great. It's a very, very capable motor, I think. And then just having the 9-speed on top of that, it's impressive all the way around. Now I will say wind noise is already kind of rearing its ugly head with this cabin setup here. The acoustics are still pretty good, and we'll test them to the fullest when we get on the interstate. But right now I'm still hearing just a tad bit of wind noise here, but nothing bothersome at all. Now I'm gonna test out the manual mode here. I'm gonna tilt the steering wheel down a little bit so I can see, and we're gonna see if this actually does what it says it's doing. So far it seems like it is. So we can come out of this corner, second gear. Seems to listen. Can be a little sluggish if it doesn't, well, if you don't tell it to shift when it thinks it should shift, but for the most part, it'll listen to you eventually. But downshifts especially, it hears you. So I like that. So this is a rougher stretch of pavement here. If you watch a lot of my videos, you know this road. If a vehicle's gonna be loud, it's gonna be loud on this here where trucks go up and down it all the time. It's kind of an industrial area here in Manchester, Tennessee. But here the ride doesn't necessarily suffer too much, but if you get in a regular Frontier, you can feel the difference between this more off-road oriented version and let's say a standard SV. And a lot of that comes from these bigger tires. And then you also have just the off-road oriented suspension overall. But behind the wheel of this, I like that I feel like I'm driving a lifted truck, but at the same time, I feel like I have the driving dynamics and control of just a normal mid-size pickup truck. I mean, the truck is easy to drive. The steering dynamics feel good to me. Gas pedal, brake pedal feel great. Now with this Pro-4X, especially with how it's loaded out at almost a 50 grand sticker, I am much more happy with this than I was of the 23 Tacoma I just drove a few hours ago. Because I think that's around the same price. I thought it was like 44, but I think I looked at the sticker again and I saw it was 49 and some change. I just think you get a lot more with this Pro-4X, having the leather, everything that comes with that premium package. and then that convenience package as well, on top of all the safety features you get with that additional $1,000 package. Now, in terms of visibility, this pretty much is identical to the Tacoma. You're sitting up a little higher, but I also feel like the hood is raised, but that doesn't necessarily affect the visibility as badly as you might expect. One thing I do feel like we're missing, now you do get the manual shift mode, but I would have liked to have seen some sort of sport mode. And it doesn't seem like we're gonna get that here. But I mean, having the manual shifting, not terrible. And I feel like this 3.8 gets the job done better than the 3.5 does in the Tacoma, even with that sport mode. So we'll give it a little throttle here. So I wasn't trying to do that much, but I think the truck was just trying to show off, which is totally fine with me. But I mean, the ride on the interstate here, a little bouncy, just a little bit, but not uncomfortable at all. I think a lot of that has to do with just the power adjustability of this front seat, having the leather there. And then if you have back problems or something like that, just finding that sweet spot, maybe putting the heated seat on low, that'll help. Now again, for almost $50,000, it's a bit pricey, but just with this one being loaded out for the most part, not a bad buy in my opinion. And I do think, and I said this before, this Pro-4X just feels like Nissan overdid it, but in a good way. Just, I feel this is more beefy than it needed to be, but I don't have any complaints here, and I think a lot of people in this segment are glad that Nissan did what they did. But this is rated to get 18 miles per gallon in the city, 22 on the highway. Crazy thing is, that's about what these Turbo 4s are getting from GM. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like Nissan actually did something smart here, as opposed to going with the 4 cylinders. But I don't know, we'll see. The next refresh might bring a turbocharged 4 cylinder to the mix. But as it stands now, I think a pretty good truck, especially in the small pickup market. And this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2024 Nissan Frontier Pro-4X.